How's it going, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hang out here for a minute, see if anybody else is around, and then I got a message for you. What a week. It's been up and down. Good morning. Hey. How you doing today? Hanging out for just a second here, see who else is around. What's up? Good morning. How are you? Hey. Wednesday already. We're halfway there, y'all. Or it's just day, right? I think that's part of the weirdness right now. Somebody was joking around that there's only 3 days of the week now, right? So there's yesterday, today, tomorrow. Morning. So, been trying to get there one day at a time, right? I hear you. Living over here halfway there. Man, that takes me back when we were in grad school. Me and my buddy, that was like our theme song, and we would use it anytime we were like running an experiment or doing data analysis where code had to crunch for a while and you're watching a progress bar. But we'd always use like, really ridiculous fractions like, oh, we're 13/19ths of the way there. Oh, living on a prayer. By the way, you've just learned why it is that I'm not currently a professional musician, or at least not a professional vocal artist. But I am on iTunes, just not for music. I just talk a lot. All right, cool. Hey, here's what I wanted to tell you about. On Monday, I did not have such a good day. I think this whole Corona thing has been a real challenge, right? People are up and down, and some days are good, some days are bad. Monday for me was... I don't like using the word bad, right? It felt like a bad day at the time, but the truth is it was a very necessary and important day for me. So what happened? Well, just after lunch, I'm coming back into the makeshift office here. If you haven't looked around yet, this is what it is. We're in my guest room. I stuck this canvas on the wall to have a professional-looking backdrop, but the truth is I'm just staring at my guest bed with a big pile of stuff and wishing that I was out there a little bit more than I actually am. So, anyways, let me set you back down there. Hey. Okay, cool. Yay for the tripod. So I just come back from lunch, sitting here, and I look over my to-do list, and I kind of had this crushing realization that most of the things that were on it were things I really should have done last week. It was mid-afternoon on Monday. My students in my classes had no idea what they were supposed to be doing for this week. I had a video interview in an hour that I was supposed to be doing for the video that was going to be made by the university that I had not prepared for yet. I was supposed to go live with one of my classes and be the voice of focus and support and all of that, and I had no idea what to say. That's when it kind of came crushing down on me, that between my two classes and everything else that I'm up to, I had about 120 students, 20 teaching assistants, 2 co-instructors, several administrators at the college and university level who, since this started, have been looking to me to answer one question. Now what? And truth is, I got pretty close to snapping at the overwhelm of it all on Monday. Thankfully, I had the presence of mind to just kind of shut down for a little bit. I closed my laptop, sent a couple messages to clear the schedule, and I went and I took a walk. And it felt good to get outside. I hadn't been outside much in a while. I think we're being as cautious as we can with this lockdown. My wife's expecting a baby, yay. And so we're like even more scared than normal of catching stuff, I guess. So I'm strolling down the path that passes behind our complex that we live in, and holding my breath. I caught myself holding my breath every time I pass somebody. And it's like, great, I can't even go for a walk and get relaxation. Like, we're constantly afraid. There's constantly something to worry about. But, the farther down the road I got, the more I started to get some sense of calm. I think that I finally realized about halfway through this walk that I hadn't been taking my own advice. You ever hear it? There's this old adage, because I don't even know the language anymore. It's something like the dentist's children's teeth are falling out. Like, it's really hard to take care of the thing you do for others. Sometimes can be hard to do for ourselves. So, organizational specialists often have messy houses, and dentists have trouble getting their kids to brush their teeth, or so the joke goes, right? For me, it's, I didn't really take my own advice for time management. See, normally I have 4 systems that I keep in my life at all times that make me feel focused and calm and give me the ability to spend my time on the things that really matter, the things that make my life the best that it can possibly be, make an impact, and let me juggle the huge number of responsibilities I've committed to. But when this whole thing hit, I just went into firefighting mode, right? You make a big list, and you start working down that list, one thing at a time. It's like, this has to happen. Okay, get it done. Now this has to happen. Get it done. And I was just working and working. And, truth is, I started working on the weekends, started work at 5 in the morning, stopped work about 6 or 7 at night, worked 3 weeks in a row, weekends included, skipped my spring break to work. All the while, I realize now, I just wanted to be the glue that held this all together. And I realize now that I hadn't really been taking care of myself. And we all have a finite amount of energy before we have to rest. Or it bubbles up and we snap. So I pulled over, sat down on a rock, and started reworking my 4 systems. And believe it or not, it took me about 3 hours to get my head around everything on Monday. But when I finally did, I had this sense of calm. I slept wonderfully for the first time since this had started. And when my alarm went off on Tuesday, I actually woke up with a smile on my face and thought, oh, this is going to be a good day. I got some stuff to get done. It's going to be really cool. And I sat down and I started working. And I realized that what changed was that when I have these 4 systems in my life, I find that I have given myself permission to focus on the one thing that I'm currently doing. Whether it's spending time with my kids or my wife, whether it's playing a video game, or whether it's working, I can be fully present and do the one thing that matters right now, knowing that I have accounted for all the other things that matter, and they're going to get their time too. And so it felt a lot better yesterday, and I feel incredible today as well, because I finally started putting these things back together. And so, funny enough, I recorded a podcast episode about that that just went live this morning, so you should go check it out. We're on iTunes and Spotify at the Intentional Academy Podcast. I put a link in my profile. I'll put a link. I'm going to post this other places. I'll put a link in the notes. But what it is I talk about the importance of having a morning routine, about budgeting your time, about scheduling blocks of time for what matters most. And then finally, after those are done, that's when you make your to-do list, right? When all of these other things are there to help you focus on what matters most, they act like filters. I just want to show you here. Let's see if I can embarrass myself a little bit here. Hang on. I'm pulling up something on my computer here. I want to show you what my calendar looked like when this started versus what it looks like now that I've fixed myself. And you might find it weird, but maybe not. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. This was week 1 of the lockdown. And what you see is I still had time blocked out for my personal life. That's what the yellow stuff around the edges is. And I had a couple of random meetings and things scheduled. But for the most part, I just had huge blocks of time. And what I discovered, by the way, is that these blocks of time for family started to get eaten alive by the huge to-do list. And I never actually got around to doing the personal life. So, what did I do? Well, I sat down and I worked my systems, I budgeted my time, and I committed to scheduling that time. So this is what my week looks like today, and you might find it to be overwhelming to be quite so busy. But the truth is that most of these blocks are actually personal things that I do for me. This, for example, is a half hour that I've scheduled that I literally intend on playing my Zelda game on my Nintendo DS. And it might be silly to have tried to schedule that kind of stuff, but the truth is that if you don't schedule the good stuff, you don't see the consequence of letting the work things run over. I had a job to do right here, right? This is this afternoon. I've got a job that I've got some recording to do for my statics class. If I take longer than the hour that I gave myself for that, the punishment, the consequence that I'm going to feel is that Princess Zelda is not going to get rescued by Link today. The point here is that we often find ourselves making trade-offs, but we don't make them in the moment that we think we do. You make a decision and it has an impact later in the day, and so you don't connect the two, right? I let a task run over early in the morning and it causes me to spend less time with my kids in the evening, but really what that was a cascade effect of all the stuff that happened throughout the day. And so, my hope, someone has to keep Gannon in line comments here. You're hilarious. And you're right, by the way, that sucker needs to stop wrecking shop and get in line already. So, I hope that you are doing well. I hope that if you're feeling some overwhelm, that you will find some peace in the lessons that we teach in this week's podcast. I'm really proud of it. It's only the second episode we've ever done. This thing's brand new. If you'd go over and take a listen to that thing, I would be so floored. I'd be even more excited if you hit the subscribe button. And if you really want to change my life, and maybe yours too, hit the rating button and give us a review. This is just getting started, but it could be the start of a movement. We could start something big here. Give ourselves the opportunity to speak to the world about the fact that life doesn't have to feel like a grind. We can do a lot. We can get a lot done, but we can love it while we do it too. So I just want to say thanks for coming and hanging out. I hope you're doing well. And if you'd like to hang out with us, you can head over to intentionalacademy.com/podcast, where I've got some episodes up now. And we'd be thrilled if you did. Either way, wishing you a great day. I'm wishing you a great day, my friends. I'll see you soon.